A common theme that persists throughout the Torah that I really, really love, it inspires a lot of hope in my heart, and it gives me energy to keep going in difficult times or when I feel like I've messed up, is this idea of second, third, fourth, and so on chances. In Judaism, we not only believe in teshuvah, which really means the return to God, but this is God's ultimate desire for us. He wants us to return to Him. And it's often so that going off path or making what looks like a mistake is the very thing that brings us back to God. We saw this in the sin of the golden calf, or chet ha'egel, where what our sages say is that the mistake of Israel in making the golden calf was actually even divinely orchestrated by Hashem, by God, in order to introduce this idea of teshuvah into the system. So Bnei Israel made the mistake so that they could literally correct the mistake by reversing all of the mechanisms that brought them to it. We see this again in the parasha that we read yesterday, which was Parashat Naso. Parashat Naso has a couple of episodes or things going on in it. I'm going to focus on the end of the parasha, which kind of carries the weight of the parasha. The Torah talks about Chanukat HaMizbeach, which is the inaugural moment for the altar within within the Mishkan. And effectively, in honor of this inauguration event, the princes of every single tribe, the 12 tribes of Israel, the leaders of every tribe come and bring an array of gifts in dedication to this event and to the altar. And the Torah does something quite peculiar. So there's this saying that not a single letter in the Torah is extraneous. And in this Parashat Naso, the Torah walks us through in detail the gifts of every single prince, of every single tribe. And what you find is that every single gift is the same. So the Torah will say, on the first day came the leader of the tribe of Judah. It's this guy, Nachshon ben Aminadav. And he brought a silver basin filled with flour and oil. He bought a silver washing bowl, also with flour. He brought a spoon with incense, and then a lot of animals for the offerings. And then the Torah will say, and then came the prince from the tribe of Reuven, and he brought a silver basin full of flour and a silver bowl full of flour. And it's literally the exact same gift every time. Okay, so I think it's like 6 pesukim dedicated to every prince, times 12. It's 72 pesukim dedicated to this gift offered by the princes, each one getting their own space in the Torah. So what's happening here? Like, why are the princes allocated so much space and energy, which is what I would call significance? So let's actually, to understand this better, go back a few parshiot to Parashat Vayekel, which is the parasha in which the Mishkan was built. In this parasha, Moses invites everyone in Israel to bring materials and all sorts of luxuries to contribute to the building of the Mishkan. And what we see in this parasha is that the parasha talks about the men and the women and all the stuff that they brought, and then afterwards it says, והנשיאים הביאו את אבני השוהם ואת אבני המילואים לאפוד ולחושן. The princes brought the onyx stones and incense stones for the ephod and the breastplate. So a couple of things. First of all, what you see in this pasuk is that the Torah, in describing all of the contributions to the Mishkan, brings up the princes last. And another thing, when it spells the word princes, nesi'im, it doesn't spell out the full word. It spells nesi'im, nun, sin, aleph, mem, and it leaves out the yud, which is the full and proper spelling of Nesi'im. What's going on here? So Rashi talks about this. Rashi says, "V'nesi'im eviu." Amar Rabbi Natan says, "Ma ra'u nesi'im leitnadev b'chanukat hamizbeach batchila, ובמלאכת המשכן לא התנדבו בתחילה." Why do we see that these princes in the dedication of the altar, which is in the Parashat Naso, which we talked about a few moments ago, why is it that there they volunteer to bring gifts in the beginning, but here with the Mishkan they bring at the end? The answer is, Ela kachamu nesi'im. It's because the Nesi'im thought to themselves, Yidnadvu tzibur ma shemitnadvin, u'ma shemechasrim anu mashlimin oto. So the princes in the building of the Mishkan said to themselves, we're going to let the public, all of Bnei Israel, volunteer first, and whatever is left over, whatever gaps there are, we'll make up for it. Rashi continues, כיוון שהשלימו ציבור את הכל, שנאמר, והמלאכה הייתה דיים, אמרו נשיאים, מה עלינו לעשות? הביאו את אבני השוהם וגומל. What happened, and when the Nesi'im, where the princes erred, is that Bnei Israel were so excited to contribute to the Mishkan. They were so thrilled for the opportunity to partake in this huge experience and in the work of Hashem, that they brought everything, like they brought more than was even necessary, so that ultimately the princes didn't really have much to bring, which is why what they ended up bringing were the stones in the breastplate of the Kohen. לכך התנדבו בחנוכת המזבח תחילה, ולפי שנתעלצלו מתחילה, נחסרה אות משמם. So, because of this experience, because of the fact that they told themselves that they'll wait for the end to contribute, when it came to the inaugural dedication event for the altar, they volunteered immediately. And then Rashi says, and because in the case of the Mishkan, they were lazy, the Yud was missing from their name, and it said Nesi'im. Okay, so what do we learn from this? The Nesi'im, on paper, it looked like perhaps their intentions were correct, okay? They were calculating logically, oh yeah, we're the leaders of the country, so we're going to step in when necessary, like we'll come and fill in the gaps. But they both underestimated Bnei Israel's desire to contribute, which means they didn't really understand the people that they were leading. And they failed as individuals to approach the mitzvah of building the Mishkan with this quality called zrizut. Zrizut means doing or approaching an opportunity in front of you quickly, zealously. So they thought or calculated as leaders, but they miscalculated as individuals who should have been inspired and eager and moving quickly towards the building of the Mishkan. And because of this error, the Torah kind of, in removing the letter, the Torah kind of minimizes a bit their importance in this parasha, in Vayakhel. In taking away the letter, it's kind of saying that their esteem was denigrated. Now let's jump forward to the parasha we read yesterday, Parashat Naso. In this case, the Nesi'im rush to the occasion. They learned from the mistake they made in the building of the Mishkan, and they came and started volunteering gifts before Moses even asked for them. And because of their eagerness, and more than that, because they corrected the very place where they erred, the Torah dedicates all of this space and room to them in the parasha. 72 psukim are dedicated to the gifts brought by every single prince. Every single one of them is mentioned by name, and every single one of their gifts is discussed, even though it's the same gift each time. I think what this shows is that mistakes are meant for us to learn from. And the second we learn, the second we grow from the mistake, we actually achieve higher levels of kedusha, of spiritual elevation, of closeness to Hashem. So imagine in Vayakel, their names are spelled without the Yud. But in this parasha, in Naso, each one of the princes is mentioned by name and each one of their gifts is listed out. Okay, so they went from a denigrated status to one of so much space and so much importance. And the Torah is showing us that this is possible. I think it's showing us that mistakes are human. By nature, we are humans and we're flawed. We're not God. So it's inevitable that we mess up. And at the same time, if we extract the lesson and the growth from the mistake, not only do we repair the mistake, but we achieve a higher status and a deeper connection to Hashem than would have been possible without this mistake. This is a theme, again, that we see over and over and over again in the Torah. We see the people err and we see their ascent. We see downfalls and we see the rise. There's this phrase in Mishlei, tzaddik, or sheva yipol tzaddik vekam. 7 times the righteous will fall and get up again. And I find this super moving because, first of all, it helps us, I think, be easier on ourselves when we mess up, right? I think it shows us, like, if the Nesi'im, if the princes of Bnei Israel made mistakes, and if Bnei Israel, who saw Hashem and received the Torah directly from Hashem, made mistakes, then obviously so will we. But it also shows us that there's a point to the mistake, and that point is learning, and that point is growth, and that if we do the work, the mistake serves as an accelerator of our path. So this is such a beautiful concept. It fills me with hope, and it fills me with ease, and it reminds me of the chesed, the grace and the compassion that Hashem is extending us at all times. Thank you.